Welcome to WhatGear Reviews. You know what it is. It's the Nacon Revolution Unlimited V3 officially licensed PS4 controller, and this is really for any of you guys out there who want to step up your PS4 gaming. Let's get this thing out of the box, see what it comes with, and then I'll run through some of the key aspects of this controller that you need to know about if you're thinking about picking one of these up. You ready? Let's go. So you get a really nice hard shell case here with this controller, and everything's in here. Nothing else is in the box, not even a user manual. Soft cloth, 3-meter USB-C cable, so you can use this controller wireless or wired, and it's nice that they've given a long enough cable if you are going to go for the wired option. So in here we have a load of little pieces, and this is for customizing the controller itself, and I'll come back to those in a minute. So this is the Bluetooth dongle, and you will actually need to use this for PlayStation and PC. So you could plug this around the back of the PS4 if needs be, so it's kind of out of sight. So here is the Nacon controller V3, and straight away, first impression is it feels really nice. And one of the main reasons you might want to get one of these for your PS4 is if you actually prefer the Xbox controller, because you've got the asymmetric joysticks here, and I am one of those people who actually prefer the Xbox controllers. Don't hate me if you're a PS diehard fan. And one thing I noticed straight away is how nice that is there. It's so smooth, and you've actually got metal sticks as well, so the grinding against the edge of the circle here won't damage the stick and create like dust like you get from the PlayStation controllers. Now, just staying on the topic of the sticks right now, these little circles here you can actually use to put around the sticks underneath to actually limit the range of movement that the sticks have. And then you can actually use the Nacon companion app to customize the sensitivity, so you don't have to lean the stick all the way into the edge of the controller to get the motion that you want. I'm going to have to look at the user guide before I start trying to remove these things. One thing I really like about these sticks as well is they're completely concaved on both sides, so your thumb sits really nicely on the joysticks themselves. Then one of the key features that they talked about is these switches up here. These are Omron switches and should theoretically be very responsive. The triggers have a good amount of spring to them as well. I like that, quite firm. They have a stronger kickback than the standard stock PS4 controller for sure. Now, these 4 LEDs across the front here are customizable presets, so you'll know what preset you're on depending on what light is shining through. And this LED light here is the player indicator, so you know which pad this is if you've got a bunch of pads connected to the PS at the same time. The X, square and triangle and circle buttons feel nice. The actual texture of the controller is really quite nice as well. The touchpad, not too grippy, and if you look really closely at that, it's got the same pattern that the stock controller has as well. On the top here is the USB charging port, and it's recessed quite deep in there, so when that's plugged in, there's no motion there, and there's no way you're going to snap the end of the USB-C cable off. So that's a good thing. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Here are the customizable buttons. So you've got 4 remappable buttons on the bottom. Out of the box, there are 4 presets, and each one of those has been predetermined by Nacon, but you can customize the buttons within the software on a PC or a Mac. And using this button here is where you switch between those. And there's a little switch here on the back for switching between wireless and wired connections as well. And there is a 3.5mm jack there on the base, so you can use your standard PlayStation headsets or whatever wired headsets you have that you use for gaming with this controller. Then this switch here, I believe, is for toggling on the PC mode. So there's 3 levels you got here, and I'm gonna have to read into this a bit, I think, but that one's 1, 2 and 3 is PC, so that's specific for PC. Then you've got these buttons here which will adjust your in-game audio mix with the voice comms, and then you've got a mic toggle button there as well. Let me show you this part. This is where it gets really cool. So these bits of metal I pulled out of the box earlier. These are weights, and you can customize the weights for your controller. I actually like a heavier controller, so I'll probably go with these ones, which are the 16-gram weights. Put those in like so, and the way that kind of clicks back together, it doesn't feel like those are going to come loose anytime soon, and that adds a really good amount of weight to the controller itself. Now, the motors that actually drive the vibration in this controller are also customizable, so I'm definitely going to have to download the companion app to test those out. When it comes to battery life, if you're going to go wireless with this controller, it's a 1300 milliamp hour battery, which means you're going to get about 7 hours continuous playback on one charge, so that's pretty good. But then if you're running low, you can just plug it in with that 3-meter cable and you're good to go as well. Now, there is an option here to switch out the thumbsticks for these smaller sort of disc-like thumbsticks. They're not concave, they're actually just quite flat and quite rounded. I actually prefer the concave ones, but you do have the option to switch those out. So I'm just going to test something out real quick with these Control Freaks. Let's see if they fit onto the Nacon. So if you're wondering if you can fit Control Freaks onto this, yes you can. I'm going to try it first of all without the Control Freaks, but if you're wondering, you can. And it's actually chewed up a bit at the corner of the pad now. That's annoying. So yeah, Control Freaks, maybe stay away from them if you don't want to scuff up the joystick itself. So my first impressions here when it comes to the Nacon Revolution Pro is it looks very, very awesome. I guess it's going to come down to how well does it perform when actually gaming, and I will be testing this out to find out how good it is in comparison to just a regular stock controller with Control Freaks on it. There's a lot to play with in terms of finding out the best weight, whether I should use these hoops here to limit the range of motion, and should I tweak the control curves in the software and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot to play with. If you're a really serious gamer, especially if you like the Xbox controller better, might be what you're looking for. And if you want to check out the most up-to-date prices, that will be in a link below this video. If you enjoyed this one and you like smartphone reviews, headphone reviews, gaming accessories and loads of other cool stuff like that, then consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. And if you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't be late.